There will be times in Illustrator when a project requires that you create large or complex artwork. Illustrator provides the ability to create custom views to make it easier to focus on different parts of your artwork at different times. Let's take a look at how to create some custom views inside of Illustrator CS6. I'm beginning this video with the views.ai file already open on my computer. And even though this is not an extremely complex piece of artwork, it's a good example of how we can utilize views to make it easier to navigate different areas. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to my View menu, and I'm going to make sure that I'm currently fitting my artwork to my document window. So if you press Command-0 on Mac or Control-0 on Windows to make sure that it fits, that'll be where we begin. So once again, we go to the View menu. We're going to come all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to choose New View. And in the New View dialog, I can give this view a name. So in the name field, make sure that I highlight that value, I'm going to type Full View. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And you'll notice that if we go to the View menu one more time and go down to the bottom, you'll notice that we have a new option at the very bottom called Full View. And this is the view that we just saved. I'll show you how we'll use this in a little bit. Now I'm going to click out of there. And let's begin by zooming in on the face of the koala, because that contains a lot of detail that I'm going to be tweaking and adjusting as I start working with my artwork. So I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut on my Mac, which is Command Spacebar, or I can use Control Spacebar on Windows, and I'm just going to zoom in on the face of the koala here. You can reposition it if you want to get it just where you want. And then once again, I'm going to go to the View menu, go down to the bottom and choose New View. So I'm going to give this view a name. I'm going to call it Koala Face. And we'll click OK. And you'll notice now that in the View menu, we have another view that has been saved. So to show you how these are utilized, if I choose Full View, it's going to take me back to the full view of my piece of artwork. And if I go to the View menu again, and this time I choose the Koala Face option, that's going to change my view to the view that I saved that shows the face of that koala. Now let's go a couple of steps further. I'm going to zoom in on the right eye of the koala. That looks pretty good. And I'll go to View and choose New View. And I'll call this one Right Eye. And then let's just slide this over. And maybe we want to zoom in a little bit since this one's a little bit smaller. And I'll go to View, New View, and I'll call this one Left Eye. So once again, to change the views, I just go up here to the View menu, pick the view that I want. So we'll go to Koala Face. That shows the face of the koala. We go to the View menu one more time. I'll choose Left Eye, and it zooms in to those particular areas. Basically, however your screen is displayed at the time that you create the view is how it's going to be saved, which is really, really powerful. Now, if you go to the View menu again, and we go to Edit Views, you'll notice that all of the views that you've saved have been displayed right here in this dialog. And you can select a view and you can change the name if you want. You can also delete a view. Now, since Full View can be accessed with a quick keyboard shortcut, I'm just going to hit the Delete key to remove that view from my artwork. So go ahead and click OK. And then we can press Command-0 on Mac or Control-0 on Windows to fit my artwork to the document window. Now, another way that we can utilize this is to create another window that contains a different view. Let me show you what I mean. If we go to the Window menu and we choose New Window, you'll notice now that I have two different tabs. And you'll notice both of them say views.ai, which is the artwork that I'm working with. But the first one has a :1 for View 1 and a :2 for View 2. So what makes this really powerful is that for View 2, I can go to the View menu and choose Koala Face. And for View 1, we'll just leave this set to the full view. They're both showing me the same piece of artwork. It's just showing me a different view. Another great way to utilize this is to come up here to the Arrange button, and we can choose an option such as this one, which is 2-up vertical. So if I choose that option, you'll notice that now I have two different windows with two different views displayed at the same time. The Arrange Documents button just shows me two different views of the same document. So we can activate it by just clicking on that window, and then we can reposition the artwork. Same thing here, I'll click on this document to make it active and just reposition it. And again, I'm seeing two different views of the same artwork. So for example, if I click on this piece of artwork here, you'll notice that it's really highlighted in both windows. And if I come up here to my swatches panel and pick a different color, you'll notice that the color updates in both windows because I'm really just changing the same piece of artwork with two different views. We can close the swatches panel, and if you're done working with these different windows, you can just close one of the windows. It won't ask you to save or anything because you're really not closing the document, just the view. I'm going to press Command 0 on Mac, Control 0 on Windows to go back to the full view. One last thing I want to show you is that by saving views under the View menu, that also presents the opportunity for you to create a keyboard shortcut for those views to make it even more efficient for you to access those different views. So what we can do is come up here to the Edit menu, and we'll come down to Keyboard Shortcuts. Now, by default, we're using the Illustrator defaults, which we can't really modify. So what we need to do is we can click on this button here, which is Save. We can give this a new name. So I'm going to call this V to B, and I'll go ahead and click OK, and now I have a new set that I can modify. In this drop-down menu, I'm going to change this to Menu Commands. And remember, the views are found under the View menu. So I'm going to click on the disclosure triangle next to View, and I'm going to scroll down, and when you get to the bottom, you're going to see Custom View 1 through 10. It allows you to create a keyboard shortcut for 10 of the views that you might have created. So what I'm going to do here for Custom View 1, I'm going to come over here and click in the Shortcut field right here. And I'm just going to click to make it active, and I'm going to use a fairly complex keyboard shortcut here. I'm going to use Shift, Option, Command, and then F1, because I know that's not being used by any of the other shortcuts in Illustrator. I'm going to go ahead and click on Custom View 2. I'm going to assign the same keyboard shortcut but with an F2 key. And let's do that for the Custom View 3 as well. There. Now I've given each particular view a keyboard shortcut. So if I click the OK button, it says, do you want to save and overwrite the V to B set? Yep, that's fine. I'll click Yes. And now if we go to the View menu, way down here at the bottom, you'll notice that it shows you those keyboard shortcuts. So as I'm working, I decide that I want to view the face of the koala. I can just use my keyboard shortcut, and it'll jump to that particular view. If I want to see the right eye, which is just F2 with the same set of key combinations, it'll jump to the other eye of the koala. And then finally, F3 will jump to the left eye of the koala. So I'll do a Command 0 on Mac or a Control 0 on Windows. And so you can see that it's really easy to create these views, and it really helps you to work a little bit more efficiently. I encourage you to implement views in your artwork to help you work faster and more efficiently as well. Practice creating views in the next piece of artwork that you create in Illustrator, and I think you'll wonder how you made it this far without using views in Illustrator.